into your problem. See, some chat got it. My gosh, y'all. Come on, wake up. All right, this is 8.3. Again, scientific notation. This is part 2. Part 2. All right, so today we're adding and subtracting. Now, yesterday we did like an overview of how to do scientific notation, and then we did multiplying and dividing. And it wasn't that bad. Y'all saw that what you grouped for multiplication, and then just worked the problem out like you normally would. And then dividing, same thing. You just did regular math. You followed the rules of exponents. And then you had to make sure at the end that the number was between 1 and 10. And that it was in scientific notation. If it wasn't, you had to do that. You remember that big ugly and the regular, and you know that if you move the decimal to the left, you're basically adding, an exponent. If you're going right, you're subtracting. Okay, let's get started on this. This adding and subtracting, it's not that bad. It really isn't. There's just one little rule that's a little bit more than with multiplying and dividing. So I'm going to put 2 stars here. I'm just going to jump into the 2 rules, and then we're going to start examples. And really, I have a page and a half of examples. That's it. Okay. Before adding or subtracting numbers in scientific notation, make sure that both numbers are expressed, that says both, for those of you in the back that can't read my handwriting, that both numbers are expressed using, and here it is, the same power of 10. Meaning have same exponent with the 10. There, in layman's terms. So before adding or subtracting numbers, make sure you have all this down, Franz. Before adding or subtracting numbers in scientific notation, you have to make sure that both numbers are expressed using the same power 10, meaning, that 10 with the little exponent, be it negative or positive, whatever, it needs to be the same. So you're going to have to adjust one. Let me set the timer. Okay. So that's the main rule. Now I'm going to give you, and really, you can choose any number or either exponent. You can make one smaller, make one larger, but, and I think even IXL suggests this too. 2 stars. It is usually easier, see, underline that word, easier, to rename the number with the lower power of 10 or exponent to match, and I've circled match, the higher power of 10 or exponent. If you can't read my handwriting back there, just let me know. So I'll reread this again. It is usually easier to rename the number with the lower power of 10 or the exponent to match the higher power of 10 or exponent. Basically, you're going to look at your two powers of 10, the two tens and the exponents. You're going to find the one that has a lower one, and you're going to adjust the decimal to be able to add, subtract, whatever you need to do to match the other one. Okay? That's all you need to do. So I have found all through school, and again, it may even be written in your book. I don't remember. It is easier if you mess with the lower one. It is easier. Now, some of you may want to say, well, let me see if it's easier. That's your opinion. I'm going to try my way. That's fine. You know what 7th grade's learning right now? I introduced them to slope. Don't y'all miss those days?
Yeah. Those were the good.
Those are the good ones, weren't they, Fonz? I taught them slope today. I had my pen while y'all, because some people are still catching up. Okay, guys, this pen is sloping. This pen right here is not. I mean, we went through it all. So cute.
Do you like it?
Oh no, they were very confused and everything. I said, you'll get it, trust me.
Yeah.
They'll get it. It was fun. Okay, y'all have this down now? Miranda, you still writing? Oh, you're good? Okay. All right, so example. All right, jumping right in. Let's say I have 2.3 times, I'm just messing with Valeria, 10 to the 6th power plus 5 times 10 to the 6th power. Okay, so let's look. Here's an exponent, and here's an exponent. Those are your powers of 10. Are they the same?
Yes.
Same power of 10. Okay? The same. You need to write that down. Therefore, we can start work. If they weren't, we would have to adjust the lower one, and there's a way to do that to make it work. But since they are the same, we can work. And guess how we do that? We're grouping again. Whoops. That's how you spell group. So we're grouping again. And we're grouping, but be careful, we're only grouping those numbers. 2.3, and what are we doing? We're adding. See, we're adding, so plus 5. If we were subtracting, we would be subtracting 5. Times 10 to the 6th power. Because we're not multiplying or dividing. I see people erasing. So, and it's okay. Try not to work ahead. But the good thing about adding and subtracting is once you get the powers of 10 the same, they have the same exponents, you just bring it down. You don't have to do any work. That's kind of nice. So I'll even just put this little arrow thing here. You don't have to do any work, no combining, no nothing. You're just combining the two numbers and make sure, see, we're adding because we're adding. And then we just bring that 10 to the 6th power down. So 2.3 plus 5, raise your hand. Franz?
7.3.
7.3 times 10 to the 6th power.
And that's our answer.
And, wait. Is this between 1 and 10?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. So then we can stop there. You always have to ask yourself. Now, if you notice in my notes, I write that all the time. Needs to be a habit. Needs to be a habit. It's real easy to get there and say, thank you, sweet Jesus, I'm done with this, and then box it and call it good. Except you gotta make sure that is between 1 and 10. Does everyone have this? Well, if your pen or pencil's moving, I think y'all are still taking notes, so that's why I'm checking. All right, let's move on. Oh, first, any questions so far? All right. Now, what if, for all the what ifs, what if the exponents weren't the same? Here we go. If I had 5.4 times 10 to the 5th power, this time minus 4.7 times 10 to the 4th power. Oh no. We have different power of 10. Oh dear. That says different power 10. Notice that's 10 to the 4th, 10 to the 5th. Now, remember my little tip, I said change the one that's the lower one to match the higher one so that they are equal. They have to be the same. And your tip is to change this, change lower, Fran's right, power of 10. Now, you can't just change that to a 5, because that's what we want. We want them to match, right, guys? All right, so we have to move this decimal. So I'm going to write this in red. You can write whatever you want. I'm going to write it right here so that we see what I'm doing. 4.7 times 10 to the 4th. I'm rewriting that because I'm going to change it. Now, which direction do I need to move this decimal so that I can add 1 to here? Because that's what we want to do. We want to add 1 to make it 5. So which direction do I need to move it, New? To the left. How many places? That's right. So guys, if I look here, I'm only needing to add 1. What if I need to add 2? Valeria, how many places would I move the decimal?
2.
That's right. What if I want to move it 4 times? Like, what if this was like, I don't know, 8? What if this was 8 and I had to I had to add 4? How many places would I move the decimal? Huh? That's right. So however many you need to add to this to have it equal that, that's how many places you move the decimal. And we're moving it 1 place to the left because we want to add 1. And so our new number is 0.47 times 10 to the 5th. Do you see that? Ariel?
Yeah.
You got it? Miranda, how you feeling? Good? Okay. So now I'm going to rewrite my problem. 5.4 times 10 to the 5th minus, because we're subtracting, and I'm putting my new number in here. 0.47 times 10 to the 5th. So I'm putting this new one into that. Now they both match, and I can go ahead and do my work. Grouping, that's right. So I'm going to group those two numbers. 5.4 minus, because we're subtracting, 0.47 times, and then we just bring down our 10 to the 5th power. Raise your hand if you know what the answer is. Morgan? 4.93 times 10 to the 5th power. And is number B between, Franz, write it down, 1 and 10? Yes. So then we are done. If it wasn't, we would have to move it. Any questions? Basically, this is it. This is it. There shouldn't be any tricks or anything. So let's do, I've got 2 examples and then I'll set y'all free. Okay? So once you have this down, go ahead and open up your book. Look, we're going to be done early today. Now, if y'all need more examples, please let me know. Does everyone have this down, by the way? Ariel, did you have it down? Okay. Sophia, you good? All right, so your book is open to page 341. Now, keep in mind, in my grade book, on RenWeb, and everything else, y'all are going to have 2 page 341s for homework. Confuses kids all the time because yesterday you did the multiplying and dividing problems. Today you're doing the adding and subtracting ones. You may at the top of your page want to put, when you start your homework, adding and subtracting, something like that. Okay, it would help me out too in grading. All right, so we're going to jump right over to number 19. So we have 4.3 times 10 to the 3rd power plus 5.2 times 10 to the 3rd power. Valeria, once you have this written down, tell me, what is the most important rule for adding and subtracting scientific notation? Exactly. You need to have the same exponent. And Valeria, are these the same? All right, so same. When we can say exponent or power 10, I don't care. Not in my class, y'all know what you're doing. So, Valeria, do we have to make any changes? No, you're correct. So, Miranda, what do I need to do? We're going to group just our numbers. 4.3 plus 5.2. And then, let's see, Sophia, what do I do with the powers of 10? That's right, times 10 to the 3rd. We just bring it down. So, Ariel, what is 4.3 plus 5.2? 9.5 times 10 to the 3rd. Is this between 1 and 10? Yes, so we're done. If it's not, you do what we did yesterday and you make that adjustment. Yes, Chap?
I have a what if question.
Okay.
What if you had a negative as your answer?
A negative answer or a negative exponent?
Negative answer, like
Right here? That'd be okay. No, it wouldn't.
it's not between 1 and
Because it's not between 1 and 10. I don't think you're going to have that.
That's a good question.
That is a good question. That
Because like if you did it, like if the exponent on this side was like the different one or something, and you had to move it and you subtracted, then you might get a negative.
Right. Okay, so you can't get a negative for an answer because, like he said, you've got to have between 1 and 10. But that's probably why everyone always says change the lower one instead of the higher one, adjust it, because I think it's to avoid things like that. That's a good question. So that should tell you, if any of you get a negative answer, then you've done something wrong. That's a good one. Does everyone have this? All right, last one. 21. Write it down, Franz. 2.8 times 10 to the 9th power minus 3 times 10 to the 7th power. All right, Keith, what's the most important rule? Okay, we have to have the same exponents. Are these the same? That's right, they're different exponents. So we're going to have to change something. So let me see, Miranda, which one am I going to change? The 10 to the 9th or the 10 to the 7th? That's right. Change lower. Okay, so I'm going to write right here my 3 times 10 to the 7th. And let's see, Ariel, how many do I need to add to the 7 to make it match right here?
2.
So I'm going to need to add 2. So, Franz, I'm adding 2. Now, if we were subtracting 2, we'd be going a different direction. But we're not. We're adding 2 to match up. So which direction do I move the decimal?
This left.
You're correct. How many places?
2.
So 1, 2. And I'm adding a little 0 there. So I have 0.03 times 10 to the 9th now. Does everyone see that? Does everyone see that? Okay, now I'm going to rewrite my problem with my new number, 2.8 times 10 to the 9th minus 0.03 times 10 to the 9th. Our exponents are the same, our powers of 10. Now, Franz, what do I do?
Well, we subtract the numbers.
Okay, so we're going to, we're going to group them, right? So I have 2.8 minus 0.03. So see, if we had not done that, we would have gotten a negative answer. Hence why they have to match. Times 10 to the 9th. And raise your hand if you got your answer. Let's see, Ariel.
2.77 times 10 to the 9th.
Is this between 1 and 10?
Yes.
And you're done. Any questions? All right, you are doing page 341, number 6, 8, 10, 12, 20, 22, 26, and 28. Everyone. And this is due Wednesday. Your quiz over all of this is Thursday. Your IXL due Friday.